Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Cookbook Connection, a podcast where food spark stories and bring us together. Each episode, I'll sit down with my guests to chat about their favorite cookbook and recipe that means something special to them. Hopefully, through the story and conversation, we explore memories, culture, and connection all through the lens of food. So let's dig in. I know I haven't been back because I've been traveling, but I'm excited to kind of do a little welcome back with a great friend and mentor of mine, Marie Atledge. Hi, Marie.
Hi, Vivian. I'm so excited to be on the podcast today.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have you. We're going to have a really fun episode today because for the first time, we're doing a little bit show and tell. Marie's going to show us how she kind of make this special recipe that meant so much to her, and we're going to talk about a little bit more. She have a special guest behind the camera, but we're going to hold on that, and we'll introduce her a little bit. So, but before we get into the nitty gritty, talk about the cookbook and the recipe and all that stuff, Marie, can you just share a little bit about with our audience who you are, what you do, a little bit about you?
Okay. I'm Marie Elledge, and I had the pleasure of meeting Viv through our both of our former careers at State Farm Insurance. I happened to stay with the company for a little over 31 years, retired at the end of 2021. I owe a lot to State Farm, met a lot of great people, and still have many of those relationships and people in my life today. So that's pretty fabulous. I'm married. This year we'll be married 39 years to my husband, Jim. And we have one son, Sam, who's 32, and a little dog, Steve. And we've lived in Bloomington for a really long time, like 25 years or something, maybe.
Wow.
So, yeah. And in my spare time, I love to play pickleball. I love to read. I like to, tool around on some other little different things I like trying. Like I have a list of things that I want to do. And for example, one was welding. So I took a welding class. I want to learn how to do some felting. So just different
Wow.
little things like that to keep me busy.
Wow, you are just full of surprises. I seem to recall that you were saying that you're taking a welding class, so that is very interesting and fascinating. Marie is also very instrumental in creating this not organization called 100 Women's for Goods. It's all about giving back to the community. It's a great little group. How long have you been doing? 5 years?
5 years.
5 years.
We started
Oh,
in
wow.
March of 2020. It was something that I brought to 9 of my friends, and 10 of us each recruited 10 people. And we get together 3 times a year for a donation meeting, and we give 10,000 plus dollars each of those meetings to our nonprofits. And to date, we've given just over $200,000 back to the community. So yeah.
That is amazing. So awesome. You're awesome. So I'm excited to
Thank
have you
you.
today. As we know, Asian, we love to eat. I love to eat. So there's so many recipe I know that we pass on from generation through generation. So what cookbook did you choose to kind of share with us today?
Well, I'll just start off first by saying that I'm Chamorro, which means that my people are originally from the island of Guam. Both my parents grew up on the island. My dad was in the Air Force, so we lived all over the continental United States and eventually settled in Omaha, Nebraska. So my mom really brought a lot of cooking from the island into our everyday life. As an example, we had rice at every meal. Only had mashed potatoes at Thanksgiving, and if we were having meatloaf. We didn't have meatloaf very often. So, the cookbook I brought today is one that my younger sister Lulu put together for all of us siblings,
Mhm.
and it's called The Calvo Family Mostly Desserts.
Ooh, I love
So,
dessert. That is so cute. That's adorable.
yeah, she put it together, gave it to us all at Christmas, and put pictures of some of our favorite
Oh,
foods.
so thoughtful.
We like sweets, so that's why
Yeah,
it's mostly desserts.
yeah.
And the recipe I'm going to make today is called Poto, and it is a sweet steamed rice cake that we have really at any sort of fiesta or holiday. Plus, it happens to be a recipe that both my husband Jim and Sam really love. They really like it as a special treat. I don't make it a ton, but they were both excited to hear I was going to be making it today.
Ooh, I'm excited because we were just talking before we start recording that a lot of island, food are very similar. Like Filipino also have Puto, and my husband is Filipino, and we love it. We love it with cheese. We love it with ube. We love it all kind of flavor. I made it sometime, not all the time, but I use a box that come like pancake mix that comes with it and make it. But when we're living in California, they pretty much have it everywhere you go. So
Yeah.
we love to just buy it. It's kind of a little snack that you pop it up.
Mhm.
I can probably easily eat 6 or 8 of them in a setting.
Yeah.
So, but they're just so good.
Well, and when I worked at State Farm, we had a lot of East Indians who worked at State Farm. And so on food days, when they would bring Indian food, I would bring these sweet rice cakes. And they
Yeah.
were always really loved them because their rice cakes are not sweet.
Oh,
It's just a
okay.
little bit different from what they
Different.
have. Yeah.
Yeah, that is so, yeah, that's interesting. It's like I said, there's a lot of food that if you think about different culture, they probably sort of have their own version of it. It's just slightly
Right.
different, right? Or name it different, but they're just like bao. I mean, Vietnamese like culture has bao. Filipino has their own version. Chinese have their own version.
Mhm.
Korean. It's sort of similar things, and then also signify probably different comfort level for them, kind of based on their culture. So, which
Yeah.
make food is very interesting. So I know that we're gonna do a show and tell today. So you're gonna kind of walk us through how we're gonna make puto from
Right.
scratch.
Yeah, it's very easy actually. And in our little family cookbook, we have Poto under sometimes desserts. Because like you said, you can have it with savory food
Yeah,
too. Just it's not overly sweet, so it's a nice
yeah,
balance.
yeah,
But this recipe is pretty easy and a lot of shortcuts from how they used to make it in the olden days on the
yeah,
island because they
yeah.
would take like 5 pounds of rice, they would grind it down to get the rice flour. Instead of water, they use tuba, which is this like sweet tuba, which is kind of a fermented alcohol.
Oh,
Some recipes now call for beer. I don't use beer in mine. I just prefer the
oh,
water. And then another little shortcut is Bisquick. It just adds a little bit more fluff to the dough.
ooh, that
So
sounds really
yeah,
interesting. So what
yeah,
else is so rice flour, right?
yeah.
Rice.
Rice flour.
Okay. Yep.
And I buy mine at the Asian store. I
Okay.
find that the rice flour that's made by like Red Mill or one of those other products isn't as fine as what you
Yeah.
can get at the Asian store.
Yeah.
Bisquick and yeast, and then sugar and warm water. That's really it. So
So
very few ingredients.
yeah, that's I love simple. I'm a simple girl. So anything call for more than 4 or 5 ingredients, I'll probably look for another recipe to make it happen. So I know that we also talk about before, like in the olden days, I call it for lack of a better word, like they don't have rice flour. How do they make their rice flour like
They
before?
basically like, I mean, I don't know exactly how my guess would be on a grinding stone or like a big mortar and pestle. They'd grind it down and they'd make the rice. I never saw my mom make it from scratch. She made it this way, this easy.
Okay, got it, got it.
And I'm
Okay.
sure part of that was just, getting the ingredients and
Yeah,
wherever she was.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
cool. All right. Well, you're gonna start making it sort
I
of
am.
with us on camera today?
I am. I'm going to grab sugar real quick, and I
Okay,
don't.
yeah.
My camera person needs to follow me over there, but I'm
Okay,
going to grab
yeah.
the sugar.
Okay.
We'll
Camera
just
person, follow Marie to go get some sugar. So need a big mixing bowl I see on your table, a little whisk the flour. Again, super simple to do.
yeah,
Um,
super simple. You don't need a mixer. That's also nice.
okay,
You really just want to mix it enough um to get the lumps out. That's really all you need.
got it. Okay, cool.
So, all
All
right.
right. Show us how to make it happen.
We are going to. So we're going to do.
What you do want.
Tilt it up just a little bit. There you go. Perfect.
Okay.
We're going to do 1 package of active dry yeast, and I'm going to get that into Sorry, I need to get a bigger measuring cup. Hold on.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, totally. So,
So,
I wonder what it, so a lot of, like I make bao, so bao call for yeast a lot. And there's even now called instant yeast. That's kind of like sort of my cheat too. It didn't
mhm,
take as much time to kind of, ferment, I guess.
yes.
So I think dry yeast is, a little bit different too. So it's different activation.
Yep. So, okay. So it says I need 2¼ teaspoon. I know I brought over some measuring teaspoons. No, I didn't. They're right here. See, this is why the professionals on TV make this look so easy.
Right. Well, because they have people.
Yes, they have people that are doing all this for
They
them.
have like a whole crew, probably help them prep for the ingredients, get them all set up, ready to go. But this is, I
Exactly.
love this because that's just the normal day people, right? Trying to
Yep.
kind of
Yep.
make something at home, and that's how I do it. I
So I'm
usually
getting
set all my ingredients out. How many water? Sorry.
two cups of water, two
Okay.
cups of warm water,
Just cold. Okay.
and lukewarm. And so the
Okay.
big thing, if you don't cook a lot with yeast, is you do not want the water too hot because you do not want to kill the active
Yeast.
yeast.
Yep.
So, and
Mm.
I like to have the jar of the
Yeah.
flax yeast as opposed to the packets. I just
Okay.
feel like the jar lasts a little bit longer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to put the yeast in there. I'll
Okay.
probably mix it a little bit.
How
So
many teaspoon of them? You
two and a quarter will
okay.
equal a
Two and a
package of
quarter.
dry yeast, which was
Okay.
is what my
Oh,
recipe calls for,
okay.
is a package of dry yeast.
Okay.
So I'm just going to put it in there and I'm going to just stir that a little bit so we
Mix
can
that puppy up.
get that going. And I like a flat whisk. I feel like it's more useful in
Oh,
the big round. I have both out
a
because
flat whisk.
yeah, I'll
Oh,
show it to you here in a minute. I
I
am
need one of
always
these puppy.
I'm always buying different flat whisks because I feel like they all work a little bit different, but this one is my favorite.
Oh, what's make it different than the not a flat whisk? I guess the regular.
So like I like to make like a lot of sauces and
Yeah.
gravies. And
Yeah.
I feel like a flat whisk allows you to hit the surface of a pot and
Oh,
get all those lumps out better than something like this.
yes, because it's trapped inside.
Everything gets gummed up on this top
Yes.
portion here. So you notice these don't overlap. And I
Oh,
have different sizes of these. I have a big one. I also have a barista whisk, which
yeah.
I really love if I'm mixing up drinks.
Oh, I need to go get a flat whisk.
Yes, I love my
Write
flat.
that down. A flat whisk is what I need
I'm
to
gonna
get.
check my water. So I have my steam
Okay.
going. Yeah, it's still going pretty good here. So I'm gonna turn that down a little bit.
Okay.
That's all ready to go when we're ready to put everything in there. So my
Okay.
yeast is blooming.
Okay.
So we're gonna go ahead and measure the rest of our stuff here. So I'm gonna need 1 cup of sugar.
Okay.
So, all right, hang on. I took out liquid measuring cups, but not dry. Again, I needed a food producer.
Look at Maria Kitchen. It has everything easily accessible. Love
Yeah, I do love my new kitchen cabinets because it
I know.
makes all of my supplies
Yeah.
so
So
much
much
easier.
easy to find. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
especially with the big rollout shelves. So we're gonna do 1 cup of sugar.
Okay.
I'm gonna get that here. Use that.
Just regular white
Just
granite sugar.
regular white sugar, nothing fancy.
Alrighty.
Okay, so I'm gonna put that in.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say whoever like controlling the camera is doing a fabulous job, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
So now that I've bloomed the yeast, I'm gonna
Okay.
go ahead and pour that into the sugar.
Okay.
That's the water here.
What's the reason of doing the yeast and the sugar first before you add the rice flour?
Because that's the way I was taught to do it.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure there's probably some scientific reason.
To maybe melt the
I-
sugar a little bit.
Yeah, I
Carbonate.
know you want the yeast to bloom.
Yes.
And then I probably by putting the yeast water in here and with it being warm, maybe dissolve
Yeah.
the sugar a little bit more.
Yeah. That now that you said it, because that's sort of how I make my bao too, is warm water and I put sugar and yeast together and I kind of have them stir and then mix it to make it melt and then let it bloom together. So it's probably pretty similar, the
Yes.
concept itself. So yeah.
So we'll leave that and we'll just give that a couple minutes. I like to give the yeast enough time to
Yeah. To do
bloom,
what it need to do. Yeah.
right, and do what it needs to do. So, so I'm going to go ahead while we're waiting on that and just prepare getting the rest of this together,
Okay.
just so that we have it. So I'm going to get a couple of little prep bowls to put this stuff in.
Yeah.
Then measure it out, and then we can just dump it in there and mix it. And then I can show you the vessel that I use for Poto, and we can talk a little bit about different
Yeah.
vessels to make that in.
Yeah.
And then we can get it steaming, and then we can talk a little bit
Yeah,
more.
we can talk. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I'm loving the show and tell. So
Okay, all right.
that is really good. So besides Puto, what other favorite desserts in that recipe cookbook that you enjoy making?
Okay, so you're just gonna laugh. This will give you such a good picture of me and my sisters.
Yeah.
So I said before that the cookbook is called The Calvo Family Mostly Desserts.
Yeah.
And the first chapter is desserts.
Oh, that's so cute. I love it.
So there's actually, so I'm not the big pie maker in my family,
Yeah.
but it's my mom's
Yeah.
pie crust recipe,
Oh,
and she's
wow.
pretty famous for her lemon pie.
Really?
My my oldest sister does make her own pie crust. I think the rest of us cheat and buy the Pillsbury
Yeah.
refrigerated pie
Yeah.
crust. It's just as easy. But here's some favorites. Like this is called Latija, and it's
Mm.
just sponge cake with a custard over the top.
Oh,
This
okay.
first recipe here is my mom's sponge cake recipe. So you
Oh,
make that first, and then you make the topping. You cut the sponge cake up into little triangles, like you can see
okay.
here, and
Yeah.
then you lay them on a platter, and you pour the custard over the top, and you put cinnamon on it.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's delicious. There are some cheats to this too. You can buy
Yeah.
Sara Lee sponge cake and cut it up, but it's a
Oh,
different kind of sponge cake.
yeah.
Would say that the sponge cake they sell is more of a pound cake.
Yeah.
Where this is probably similar to like more of a chiffon sponge. It's
Yeah.
lighter,
Yeah.
airier.
Is it also related to your culture or is it just like dessert that she loves to make?
You know, I can't think of a Chamorro picnic or festival that I've been to that hasn't had Latija, but it's never been
Okay.
as good as my mom's.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool. Wow. What about
So,
lemon pie? Is lemon pie also specific to your culture too, or
no,
that's
that's
just
just something
oh,
my mom liked to make, and my dad and my siblings really loved it.
okay, got it, got it. Oh,
So,
that's so cool. I'm glad.
um,
So cool.
so one other thing I'll show you is risketti.
Yeah.
That is specific to our culture, and it is a cornstarch cookie.
Okay.
So when you eat it, it kind of melts in your mouth.
Yeah.
So it calls for a full box of cornstarch.
Cornstarch cookie. Mm.
Yeah, yeah. And then a cup of butter, eggs, sugar, flour, vanilla. I put almond extract in mine because I put almond extract in place of vanilla extract.
Cornstarch cookie. I've never
Yeah.
heard of that.
Yeah, and you make it, and the dough ends up being, I would say it feels silky, and
Yeah.
you roll it into coils. And I don't know if you can
Yep.
see that kind of up
A
close.
little bit. Yeah.
Then you coil up these little cookies
Uh-huh.
and you bake them, and
Oh,
they're delicious. I haven't
I
made those in years.
yeah, we need to maybe do a little a Marie cookbook sort of dessert party so we can
Yeah,
try to make all these.
yeah. So
That that
just a couple of more cultural ones.
yeah.
Tatija, those are like flour tortillas, except they have a
Okay.
little bit of sugar in them, so they're a little bit
Okay.
sweet.
Okay.
So, and then my mom's bread recipe, not specific to our culture, but she was a really, really good bread maker. And
Yeah.
then these two, and you can kind of tell because these are dirty pages in the cookbook.
That means you use it a
Lumpia,
lot.
lumpia, which I know the
Yeah.
Filipinos have, but
Yes.
we
Yeah.
have ours is more the size of an actual spring roll or egg roll,
Okay.
whereas the Filipino lumpia
It's
that I've
tiny.
had,
Yeah.
it's tiny and it's
Tiny.
like it's really thin.
Yeah. Really thin. Yeah.
And then pancit, also a Filipinos have that as well.
Yep.
Not too much difference here, except the noodles that we use are a little bit thicker. The Filipino pancit that I've had has a lot. A lot of times they'll have like glass rice noodles.
Rice noodle. Yeah.
Yeah, and we use more of a starchier, thicker
Yeah.
noodle.
So even within the Filipino culture, there are different version of it. Like I think like when I go to a regular restaurant, the pancit, it's like you said, the rice noodle. But when
Mhm.
Red's made it's the glass noodle plus the yellow noodles combined. So you got
Oh,
different texture of the noodle
okay, that's
as well.
interesting. I
Yeah,
like that.
actually I like that version better than just the rice noodle. So
Okay.
yeah, hmm
All right, so I'm gonna finish measuring these things
Yeah.
out here while we are chatting. So
Yeah.
what else do you want to know, Viv?
Well, I want to know, I guess you talk about how your mom and your family love to cook. So maybe talk to us a little about growing up in your household. What is it like? It's cooking a major part, sort of what you guys do when you get together, or how's that?
Well, I would say my mom really liked to have control of her kitchen, other
Yeah,
than cleaning up or like making rice.
yeah.
She didn't let us do a whole lot.
Oh, really?
I think that was different with my older sisters,
Yeah.
as opposed to me and my younger sister. And so as we got older, we were just like, oh, how do we make that? And so my mom would
I
tell us.
see.
And
I see.
I may maybe have a misconception of this, but I don't think that I'm as close to my mom as my sisters were. I'm
Uh-huh.
gonna use my fingers here; they are clean. Um, but and I moved away. When I moved away at 18, I never moved back to my house except if I was home on school break.
Yeah.
And then I got married at 21 and moved immediately. And so I really wasn't around a ton when I probably would have been spending a lot of time with her learning how to cook. But I could always call her and she talked me through it, long distance. That's back before cell phones when we'd pay for long distance calls.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the call, if I was calling about cooking, a
Yeah.
recipe or something, that's all the call was about because we were going to get off. So,
Yeah.
happy
Yeah.
expense.
Yeah.
So,
But food is the connection, right? It's pretty similar
exactly.
to, I think, like my mom loves to cook. So I can definitely tell you her love language is food, right? So
Mhm.
yeah. Okay, what are you putting in now?
So I
The
just
little,
measured out the rice flour and
okay,
now I'm gonna measure out the Bisquick.
biscuit.
And
Okay.
it's equal parts, 1.5 cups
Okay.
of rice flour, 1.5 cups of Bisquick.
Okay. So we don't use biscuits. What will be I guess you said this is kind of like a cheat, I guess as you will, to the
Yeah,
recipe. What would be a substitution of biscuit?
I'm not 100% sure. I just know I asked my mom one time
Yeah.
and she said it just helps. Um, You know what? I could look it up actually, now that you say that, because I have a Guamanian cookbook, a Chamorro cookbook.
Oh yeah. Oh.
See what they put in theirs.
Yeah.
So should be here, Riscetti. Here it is, Poto. So like this Poto recipe
Yeah.
calls for everything I have here, but
Mhm.
it also calls for a cup of beer.
Oh, okay. So
So
that's what maybe the fluffing agent.
yes,
Okay.
yes. And then there's one here that tells you to um, grind rice to a powder. That's the one that needs
Oh
five
yeah.
pounds of long grain rice and a pint of sweet tuba. So that's that Chamorro
Oh, beer.
fermented alcohol
Oh.
thing. Oh, and that one calls also for 5 pounds of sugar.
Oh, 5 pound. Oh,
Ooh.
Yeah, but
5 pound of sugar. Oh my
it
God.
also calls for 5 pounds of rice. So I don't know how much.
Oh, that's a lot of puto that recipe is
Yes.
gonna
Yeah.
For the
make.
party.
Yes. A puto
So
party.
it would be.
Yeah. I think I tried to make it from scratch one time. I don't remember what that was. For some reason I thought butter was involved. I don't know why. Maybe I'm thinking about something else.
Yeah, I've definitely seen people put butter on poto when it's steamed.
When it's steamed, like a little piece of butter, like
Yeah,
cut in and put it. Yeah,
but
yeah,
not, I don't really see that on the regular. I just
yeah,
see it being eaten
yeah,
pretty, you know, right out of the steamer.
yeah, yeah. I like the cheese one. I like that they have cheese inside.
Yeah, I've never
Not
made
my
it.
favorite.
Yeah, I've never made anything like that, but I would love to try it. What kind of cheese do you guys put in there?
I just use cheddar cheese.
Oh, you do. And is
Mhm.
there sugar in your
I don't remember. I will probably have to look it up. I'm sort of at night, I will go through my phone and kind of see like, oh, what else I wanted to make sort of kind of girl. So if I find a recipe I like, I may write it down. Sometime I just sort of save it on my phone. So I don't remember.
Well,
I,
I know I've read that some of the other like chain islands in the Marianas chain, or even the
yeah.
maybe it was even the Philippines, that their potu is not sweet. Like ours is sweet because we
Yeah,
have like
yeah,
sugar in
yeah.
it,
Like
right?
more like a savory kind of Puto,
Yes, yes.
dessert
So
kind of Puto. Yeah. Well, it's funny because you said Puto is under the dessert tab of your cookbook. Um, but I see Puto as kind of a lot of like you said, you can dip it in like a sauce and eat it because it's just sort of like a flour or whatever dough and it absorb everything. So I never see
yeah.
Puto as a dessert.
Well,
Now that you said it.
it's in the sometimes
Oh,
desserts.
sometimes dessert. That's
Yeah.
right. So what are you doing right now? You're mixing
So
your
I
wet and
put
your dry
in,
ingredients.
yep, I'm putting in the dry ingredients into the yeast and sugar.
Okay.
I'm just mixing it up, and you just want to mix this basically until the lumps are gone.
Okay.
So I kind of switch between a flat whisk, just
Uh-huh.
kind of get everything under the liquid, and then
Yeah.
see me switch to a more traditional whisk.
Okay.
Because I feel like the more traditional whisk, once it's mixed up,
Yeah.
helps to get those lumps out.
Got
So,
it.
um, how's the camera girl doing? You need a
She's doing a fabulous job. You probably need to feed her one of these Puto when you make it. You when you're
of
done
course,
making
of
it. So,
course.
so do you filter it too? Like once you're done whisking, do you kind of
No, I
put
mean,
it through a strainer or no?
once you
Okay.
get the large lumps out, it
Yeah.
actually works pretty well.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So,
I may need to, if you consider like being an instructor for Beyond Social, maybe you need to help teach some classes for us someday.
only if I have somebody like prepping the ingredients for me. So I'm not going, oh, I forgot to get out a mixing cup, or I forgot to get out. So yeah.
Oh, that is so funny.
Okay. So if you look at it now,
Yeah.
right there,
Oh, I can
you
tell.
can
It's
see
like
that it's,
without the filter, it's kind
yeah.
of already
Yep. And
pretty
you'll
smooth.
see I'm still bringing up a
Yeah.
couple of lumps
Yeah.
in here, and you may still have that,
Yeah.
but it usually works out okay.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
looks really good.
so that's it. And then
Okay.
I'm gonna take us over to another part of the kitchen so you
All
can see
right.
my steamer.
Okay. Do you use like a cupcake holder or
The pan I am gonna use is a mini muffin pan.
okay, yeah.
I used to use, like my mom used, little dishes, little
Yeah.
tin dishes,
Yeah.
but it's pretty labor intensive, meaning you have to wash each one of those puppies when you're done.
Yeah.
And many times you get those little tin dishes, they're not dishwasher safe.
Right. Yeah.
So I just use my mini muffin tin because I can clean it out and throw it into the dishwasher.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Can you use muffin, the paper muffin, what is it called? The
no,
liner?
no
No.
liner, no
Okay.
liner. Okay.
Because it will too liquidy to melt the liner, you think?
I don't think it would melt the liner. I've never done it.
Okay.
And I think I guess it would be pretty handy if you're serving it to a lot of people, but I
Yeah.
don't think I've ever seen our
Oh.
poto done in a mini muffin.
Oh, okay.
I mean, a muffin paper.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
Our fabulous camera lady, now see some finger on the camera. So there you go.
all right,
All right.
over this way to my.
Yeah, all right. Let's see.
So you can see here, I'm gonna put these here real
Yeah.
quick, right here. You can see here, I have some mini muffin tins.
Yep.
And then over here is the base of my steamer.
Yeah.
And I just put a little bit of water in the bottom. I got that started. You can see it's already
Yeah, it's already
steaming.
running. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go ahead and drop one of these inside.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go ahead and fill these up. So
Okay.
I just take, and I try to fill these about 2/3 full.
Okay.
So you just
How many can you make that recipe?
Well, this recipe I think will make 36 to 48.
Oh, wow, that's a lot.
Well, because they're tiny muffins.
They're tiny
mini
muffins.
yeah.
That's true.
So, and I'll wipe those little spots off the,
Yeah. And how long does it take to steam it?
well, it's kind of by eyeball, but I think generally 15 minutes. I'll have to look
Okay.
again at the recipe.
Yeah. That's not too long. I mean,
Yeah, they pop up pretty quick.
yeah.
You
I
just
mean,
need,
it seems pretty simple and doesn't take up a lot of time.
no,
Yeah.
doesn't.
It's,
And you just need to make sure that that middle is done, you know?
yeah.
So you can stick a toothpick in there if you want, but I wait for the top to split.
Okay. Oh, yeah, like a burst, like a
Yeah.
little cracking
Yeah.
on the top. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. This is the first time I'm using this little pourer.
Yeah.
It's a little more messy than I would like it to be.
No, I actually think it's pretty handy.
Usually I make this in a big pourable mixing bowl.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and then it just kind of pour it in. Yeah.
Yeah. But I always thought it's so big that you can't get quite as close. So I thought today, well, I'm going to try this because I think it'll be neater. But I
Yeah.
don't know if it is.
Yeah. Well, that's
Can
what cooking is about. It's a little bit of a messy. I'm a sort of a messy cook sometimes. If I don't make a mess in the kitchen, I didn't cook.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, definitely. I have learned over the years to be a clean up as you go, but you did not see me do that today because I felt like it would take too much time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I used to just cook and like leave a tornado behind me. It was
Right.
crazy.
Yeah. That's kind of how my mom cooked because she knows someone's gonna clean it up.
That's why you have all those kids, right?
That's why you have 4 kids, so you have them to clean it up for you.
Is that how many siblings you have? 3?
Yes, I have 4 total. So it's my brother, me, 2 sister, which one is not with us, but yeah, we have 4
Mhm.
total.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have 6.
Oh, wow. So I know you said you have sisters. So how many brothers do you have?
I have 2 brothers and 3 sisters.
Okay. Are you the oldest in girls or oldest in
Well,
general?
what you know me, where do you think I fall?
I think you're the oldest. No, you're the oldest girl.
That is wrong. Both are wrong. I'm second to the youngest.
What? No way.
That's true. And I have my oldest brother is 11 years older than me.
Is it the one that I met?
No,
when
you
he
did
came-
not.
No. Okay.
No.
Oh,
And then my actually I'm gonna get a picture.
Clean 'em.
This up a little bit.
Yeah.
Then my sister, my oldest sister, is 10 years older than me.
okay.
Just gonna clean up these pans a little bit. I don't
Okay.
want all the drips because they end up being a little bit solidified on here after you make a few batches.
Oh, yeah. And then it's harder to clean.
Right. So I'm
Yeah.
just gonna wipe up as much as I can here.
So excited about this.
Okay, so I'm gonna put one in.
Okay.
Oh, wait, hang on.
Mhm.
Right.
Careful.
So I use a tin steamer or an aluminum steamer.
Mhm.
And I know people use a bamboo steamer, but I haven't found a bamboo steamer yet that I feel like is big enough.
Mhm.
I mean, maybe you could give me some pointers on buying a new one, but
I think regular steamer would just do the work. The thing with bamboo steamer, it's good when you like steam it so many times because the bamboo kind of absorb kind of the food flavor in a way. And
oh,
I think
nice.
that's what make it sort of have that an extra sort of taste to some of the food because it absorbed it so much of it's kind of absorbed everything. So, but I like a regular steamer. I know there's a story of your steamer too. Tell us about that.
Okay, well, I'll tell you about that. Let me figure this out real quick here. There we go.
She's setting a timer.
I'm
15
going to set a
minutes.
timer for 15 minutes. And I will start that. So we'll let that go.
Okay.
So I'm just going to check what the cook time is. Yep, approximately 15 to 20 minutes is the
Okay.
cook.
Cool. All right.
So the story about my steamer. So my mom passed away in 2012, and we cleaned out their little house. They lived in that house for like, I don't know, a really long time.
Yeah.
And I am not, if anybody knows me, I don't collect a ton of crap.
Yeah.
I'm not overly sentimental about objects.
Mm.
But there were two things I wanted for sure. And that was this steamer,
Mm-hmm.
which was my mom's. I had a steamer too. I went ahead and got rid of it when I got my
Yeah.
mom. And then this little penguin ice bucket, which come on, I'll show you
Oh,
that.
yeah. Okay.
So my parents got it for their wedding
Uh-huh.
many, many years ago.
Okay.
I have it here on my bar. Just
Oh.
hold it up here.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
So it's a penguin, and many, many people who got married in the 50s have these.
Yeah.
It's a penguin ice bucket, but
Okay.
it's also something that will keep food warm. So you'd
What?
see these at parties and they'd have ice in them if they were by the bar,
Yeah.
or they could fill them up with dip. But I was
What?
always intrigued by it, but I was really intrigued by it because it also comes with penguin feet ice tongs. How great is that? And many times when people get them,
Yeah.
these are missing if
Yeah.
they find them at like a thrift store.
I can't believe that it's in such a great condition.
Yes, it
I mean,
is.
it's like a brand new ice bucket.
Yes, it is. It's really fun. I'm just chuckling because my camera girl is walking backwards and she's in flip-flops. So at her advanced age, we're really hoping she doesn't fall down.
All right. So, unfortunately, we probably won't be able to see your final product because it takes 15 minutes to cook. But we'll definitely get a picture from you when the product is done. And I'll probably drive over there in a little bit just to grab some too.
Yeah, sure.
But we kind of wrap up this episode of Cookbook Connection, which, by the way, I learned so much. It's so much fun to do a little show and tell. It's our first time. So maybe we do it more often. It's just so fun to kind of watch people cook. We just need to figure out the technology and the coordination of it. Not everyone like you, Marie, has a camera lady behind the camera and doing all the motion. So I just have like a few like quick fire round, quick questions that we have to end each of the episodes. So so question real quick. Favorite ingredient that you can live without?
Oh man, that's so hard. Honestly, for me, it's probably butter, both unsalted and salted.
True, because it's very versatile. You can use
It
it
is
for
versatile.
a lot of things. Yeah. And it just what did people say? When you add butter, everything just tastes better, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Another one. What would be your dream dinner guest? Living or historic? Like people already passed or
Um,
celebrity or famous?
yeah. So probably living Michelle Obama.
Oh
Would
yeah.
love to just have a
Can you
conversation.
invite me when you got her as a guest? I will be
Yeah. And
right there.
probably not living Leonardo da Vinci.
Oh, okay. Why?
Well, he kind of fascinates me. He had all these drawings of things that are in existence today, like an early helicopter. He did anatomical drawings of people to learn more about he really wanted to learn more about how the body worked, which influenced his art.
Yeah.
And in his art, you know, he sculpted, he painted, he did his notebooks have all kinds of just sketches and drawings. He was very interested in people and kind of what was the light and life behind their eyes and
Yeah.
everything. I mean, I watched documentaries about him. He's just truly fascinating.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. True, true, true. You picked some good ones. So, well, again, thank you so much for taking your time and chat with me today. As our guest for Cookbook Connection, really love this episode. For all the listener out there, follow me on Cookbook Connection at YouTube. Before we leave and close it out, we would like to
Reveal.
review the camera lady because the camera lady is going to be our next guest on Cookbook Connection. Come on out, Lynn.
Okay, turn it around,
Turn
Lynn.
it around, Lynn, so that we can see you.
Hello.
I'll be your camera woman.
I mean,
There you go. Oh, I love it. Lynn and I also know each other for a long time. We used to work together. She is
Yes.
like a work mom, wife, not to me, to some person that we work with. But she's fabulous. She's an amazing cook. So I can't wait to dive into the cookbook that you picked. Just a little bit story that you were telling me earlier. I can't wait to kind of dive into that. So again, thank you so much, Marie. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
everybody.
See
So
ya.
thanks for
Thanks, Lynn.
coming.
All
See you
right.
next time.
Bye.